to write the narratives, not only on paper, but in the hearts and souls and the minds of the young ones that we have, who are joining the struggle. For how long are our comrades going to die like Peter Keharayang did, like Comrade Njoroge Wanguthi did, leaving behind children who cannot, they cannot be fend for. These people, gallant fighters for our freedom, they gave up everything. They gave up everything. And what that means to their families is that they were left in destitute. A story can be told one time, like it is told about Nicaragua, like it is told about South Africa, how they fought apartheid. A story can also be told about the Kenyan activists. We can have somewhere that our young people joining the struggle can go to nurture their minds and to sharpen their consciousness, so that as they go into the streets, it's not just empty activism. It is not euphoric, but it is guided and guarded with reason and ideology. So we are looking towards building a home that is physical, a home that is going to have, like Pio and his colleagues did, build the Lumumba Institute, a home that is going to have a resource center that once we run around in the streets, you can always retreat there and have 1 or 2 hours to read Pinto, to read ZAREENA, to read whoever else who has written literature and has moved on. You all know we've been without anywhere we can organize from. And so that is why we want to have this place that we can call ours, no matter what. We are commemorating our heroes and heroines and pushing that they be recognized and the true narratives are known. We are also working towards mentoring, and we are also working towards taking care of our own, the activists, and also building this home. That is the agenda that we are selling to you, dear comrades. We have lost a lot of ground. We have seized a lot of ground to politicians. We have seized a lot of ground to all these other. Where are we? Where is the spirit of Pinto? Where is the spirit of Kimathi? Where is the spirit of JM? Where is the spirit of Mekatilili Wamenza? Where is Karemi Nduthu today? If we don't do and stand firm ideologically and in terms of what we are doing, like they did and what they stood for, then we are as good as just enjoying ourselves here, remembering them. That is the challenge that we, as the Solidarity Committee, organizing on behalf of the Human Rights Fraternity, we are throwing to you people.
He was born in Kenya. He went at a young age to study in India. He studied aircraft engineering. But those were still when India was under Portuguese rule. I mean, that's quite amazing for somebody to have gone from here. He was a visitor in India. He was only a student. He went there to study and come back, but already he was involved in these political movements. He came back to Kenya, and he immediately got into the politics of Kenya. What he did was he joined the trade union movement. At that time, Makhan Singh and all were around, and he used to regularly go to the trade union offices, which were where? In Desai Memorial Hall. Unfortunately, it was demolished. But Desai Memorial Hall used to be the home of the trade union movement here, but also the place where African politicians particularly could meet. You know, the colonialists didn't allow Africans to meet in other places. So you can imagine when we got independence, he wasn't exactly in the right boat. His friends were people like Gama Pinto and the trade union workers, leaders at that time, Makanyengo and all those people. Kenyatta supported the Lumumba Institute because I think he didn't quite realize what it was about. The objective was to train cadres, train people who could then take over the leadership of Kenya and move it in the direction for the benefit of the people. That was the idea of the Lumumba Institute. When the Kenyatta regime finally discovered or understood what was going on at the Lumumba Institute, it was, of course, closed down. And then many things happened. Pinto was very, very central in campaigning for KAMAU in his first elections and bringing it to power. But he never asked for a position for himself, never. So he was never a member of parliament, though he was a member of the East African Legislative Council. And 1964, there was a time, Tom Mboya had come up with his African socialism paper, which there was nothing socialist about that paper. You all know that. So Odinga and Pinto and a few others decided that they would not let this paper through. And so they wrote their own African socialism paper. And Pinto now planned for the MPs to present it in Parliament. That story was leaked. The Kenyatta went to know about it, and in February 28th, I think it was, that Pinto was shot and assassinated. So that is the story of Pinto's life. I do think that all of us, as we struggle in our own ways to make this a better Kenya, we have a great deal to learn from Pinto's dedication, his humble humility, his ability to live with poverty. Money has become such an important thing today, isn't it? Everything is money. Even some of our so-called radical and revolutionary work is now dependent on money. Money never mattered to Pinto. It was no issue. Please, I think we have a lot to learn from him.
Mimi jina kamili ni Beni Kanyi Waweru, ni binamu yake mwenda zake JM Kariuki. Huyu ni mjukuu wa JM Kariuki.
My name is Jeremy Mwangi Kariuki. I'm the grandson of late JM Kariuki.
I felt so touched. And the reason is why, the reason is because you guys are all here. You make relevance. It can end if we don't have all of you. So I thank you. I know sometimes it doesn't feel rewarding, but there is a reward for us when we see all of you today and hopefully tomorrow. I have nothing but humility to all of you. I want to also thank everyone for remembering Pio Gama Pinto. We don't have anything for him. We should.
We have struggled with all the Kenyan Wazalendos over the years, and I'm happy to report that we are still with you until we get all the answers. When some of us go away, there will be the young ones taking over until we have all the answers. Thank you very much.
Africa, Erokamano Jael Mbogo. Erokamano Marjorie Oludhe Magoye. Erokamano Grace Ogot. Erokamano Maitoa Kwa Mami. Erokamano Terry Kariuki. Erokamano Pio Gama Pinto. Erokamano ZAREENA. Erokamano Kanyi. I took my son for a long walk through central Nairobi. It was a Sunday morning. We stood beside Kimathi's statue, but the statue would not speak to us. It was cold. Compatriot Kimathi, I tried. Will you not speak to us on Kimathi Street? My son began to read. It is better to die on our feet, fighting, than to live on our knees, begging. My son cried and pleaded, can Kimathi speak? He's up there, so that we may not die, since he knew Kimathi fought. Did he fight in uniform? Look at his shoes, my son asked. So he could get shoes and clothes and still fight for freedom? Some adult turned and stared at us. I know now, Mama, he told me, looking at the Hilton, that J.M. Kariuki's footsteps are still nyayo on the Hilton pavements across, still hot on his heels, a man called Kanyotu, following him beyond the stars and gong in death. I saw it on Citizen TV. And now we are in two worlds. Shh. I stand still, I can hear Kimathi's words. Shattering the disconnection of generations across classes, he demands that now must Jonjo speak up better, his English angled on truth. Well before grass grows on his pin-striped suit, Kariuki had fought tribalism better than them. What prophecy of an attorney general do we need now? Kariuki will rise and tell it all. Kariuki, no ago karege. Kariuki must come again and ring his landline telephone to tell Terry and all of us that there was really no mystery, only the mastery of tyranny and greed. On the 14th of February, 2009, I was in my flat near here, Delamere, and I looked at a sack I had made during Kenya's violence, and I felt so lonely about the hungry of Turkana, who are still hungry. And I thought, there are no demonstrations going on. And I said to myself, shall I go? Yes, I'll go. Is it a personality cult? No, it's not. I put on my sack. I carried a big paper, even without anything on it. I came down to town, and with a few people, we cut out figures of the starving, parliament, everything, put them there. And I was walking down still with the papers and hesitant. This will surprise you. I still feel goose pimples when I remember. In my sack, some of you know my sack written, I love, hope, and believe in Kenya. As I reached near Grand Regency, just before I crossed the street, somebody tapped my shoulder. So I turned around, and the lady said to me, I would like to talk to you. And I said, okay. And she said, are you the one I normally see on TV talking about Kenya or here on radio? I was wearing my sack, remember? So I told her yes. She told me, carry on, never stop, carry on. My husband used to talk for this country the way you do. And remember, again, I told you, this is not about Philo. Just like that moment was not about Philo. And then I thought, I didn't recognize her. And she said, carry on, because I have a grandson who asks me about grandfather and why he died for Kenya. And if he himself, the grandson, could possibly do what his grandfather wanted to do for Kenya. And then she told me, my name is Terry Kariuki. I just felt so much power. It was a moment I'll never forget. I know how my husband ended up, but do not be afraid. I wanted to share that so much with you.
Erokamano. Help me to say Erokamano to Philo. Erokamano, mama. Erokamano, newega mama. Erokamano. erokamano, newega muno, erokamano, filo filo, erokamano, ai hey, erokamano.
Apate haki, Kariukio.
Apate haki.
Apate haki, Kariuki wetu.
Apate haki.
Apate haki. Apate haki, Kariuki wetu.
Apate haki.
Kariukio.
Ni shujaa.
Kariuki wetu.
Ni shujaa.
Kweli mzee alipatikana mwili ya mzee hapa. Hata sisi tukasikia ameletwa mbali akakuja kuuliwa hapa. Sisi hatukuwa tumehusika. Kulikuwa na miti kubwa hapa.
Okay.
Wakati miti ilikuja kukauka, wakaonelea waweke hii ili wasikosene mali hiyo. Hata hii area tumetaja ni JM. Ukiwa Kiseria ungemwambia gari tu ikupeleke.
Sasa wao walikaa kama Wamasai kitambo kidogo, wakatenga area, sasa hii inaitwa JN.
Na area kusabu kuna kiti.
Anasema ni area kubwa.
Nemere ndogo nemere.
Na hakuna kitu haitaingia, kila kitu itaingia hapa.
We are following what you say. This is your land. Vile tumekuja leo, siku ingine tutakuwa Gilgil.
Na mimi kama human rights ningependa kueleza wenzetu hakuna tutoe uoga na lazima hata wale wako parliament, government ya sahi wajue ya kwamba government Kariuki hata kama amekufa bado ametupatia moral na tunataka tukue ili ijulikane, wasifikira tumesahau.
Tell me why.